We are factoring difference of squares and perfect square trinomials. Sorry for the lowercase p. Super annoying. Woo! Fixed it. Okay. Here we go. So what's happening is we've got two different concepts here. We learned this on Wednesday. Difference of squares, where the middle term cancels out, remember? Middle term cancels out. You have a plus sign and a minus sign. The numbers are exactly the same. So on difference of squares here, you're always going to have a perfect square. Oh, but what is perfect square? Let's remind ourselves, what does a perfect square mean? What is a perfect square? Give me some. You had a quiz on it. It was a yellow little piece of paper. 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81. Okay, and they usually don't go much higher than that. I mean, sometimes you'll see 144. Okay? These are all perfect squares. So if you ever see a perfect square in your math problem, it's gonna be like an easy type of problem. Here's what I mean. X squared minus 25. There's no middle term. It's that pattern from Wednesday. So this is only two terms. There is a perfect square. So I need to figure out this. So I need your help because we need to figure out what makes 25. Tell me the first thing, what makes 25? 5 and 5. So you're going to put 5 and 5 right here. But I like where you're headed with it. What you were saying, that was really actually right. So how am I going to make this so that my middle term cancels out? Because this does not have a middle term. What's that rule that we wrote on the board? It says the middle term canceled out. And how did it cancel out? Different signs. Plus, minus. Do that right now. And what's the variable that I need to use in my math problem? You are done. There is no equals 0, so you don't have to worry about that. So this is difference of squares. Difference means plus minus. You know, sum and difference. Plus minus. Let me give you some just for you to practice in your head. X squared minus 64. What's my answer going to be?
X minus 8 plus B, X minus 8.
Okay. How about not even X? Why do X when we can... Whoa. That eraser was really big. Man. Okay. How about C squared minus 4?
C plus 2, C minus 2.
Okay, good. So you seem to kind of have gotten this. It's only going to work when you have two terms, and there's a perfect square in it. So my two little red things up there are like super important. Two terms and is a perfect square. Now I have perfect square. This is called a perfect square trinomial. And the answers are going to end up being the same thing in parentheses. The exact same numbers, same sign. What makes 25? How do I make a negative 10 though? Negative 5, negative 5. Do you want to check it real quick? X squared minus 5x minus 5x plus 25. Oh, yep, that's it. X squared minus 10x plus 25. I got it right. So really, what could I write instead of writing the exact same thing 2 times in a row? Like, how annoying for me. What can I write? X minus 5 squared. This is exactly what we did on Wednesday. So now basically what we're going to do for the first front 6 problems is we're just going to practice this and make sure you guys are A-okay. How do I get an 81? 9. Oh, there's no middle term. So a needle pulling thread. What'd you decide to do in it? There you go. You're done. Okay, this is another just 2 terms, and 25 is a perfect square, but so is 4. So first question, how am I going to make 25?
5.
How am I going to make a 4 in front?
2x.
What? Amazing me with your mathematical skill. You must have a growth mindset. That's what I think. Okay. So, number 3. So it's written backwards. Okay, so we're used to seeing x squared in front. That's okay. So what I would want to do is look at it and decide, is there anything that I can do that is like a perfect square for 50? Like, is 50 a perfect square, or is 98 a perfect square? No. Okay, so they're not. All right, so are there any numbers then that I could factor out? Like, do they have any GCF numbers in common? 2. So let's do that. Because you need to kind of go through the checklist. Like, is there a perfect square? Is it grouping? Which has 4 terms, so no, that's not it. And then we can do GCF. Okay, 2 parentheses, 25 minus, what's half of 98? Perfect squares all over the place. Can you guys tell I'm in a really good mood today? Yes. Okay, so what's going to have to happen is that 2 just kind of hangs out on the side for a bit. I'm not going to worry about it because I've got to make this 25 minus 49x squared into my factored answer. What makes 25? 5 and 5. So they're going to be the leaders because 25 is in front. You're not going to change the order of this. You're not going to reverse it in your brain and rewrite it. No. What makes 49? 7. And what makes x squared? So what am I going to write at the end of my parentheses?
7.
How am I going to make it so there's no middle term? Because that 25 minus 49x squared had no middle term. Plus and minus. So this is like an advanced problem. I just threw it at you to see what you do, and you didn't seem to have a problem with it. Cool. Okay. What about number 4? It's a trinomial, so this is going to fall under the perfect square trinomial category. What makes 4 the perfect square for? But I need to get a negative 4 in the middle. So basically what's happening is the 2 numbers are going to multiply to make 4, but add up to make negative 4. How am I going to do my signs in this? Anyone? I'm sorry, it's just not loud enough. Hello? How am I going to make a negative 4 add up? Negative 2 and negative 2. So if you wanted to do that, you know how we normally write it and when we factor? Let's do it the way we've learned. I'm going to have to cross multiply, and I'm going to have to make my line should not go there. My eraser is giant. Let's figure out what I can do. I need my 2 and my 2 to add up to a negative 4. So what are the signs going to have to be to make a negative 4?
Negative 2, positive 2.
Ooh, no, I want to make a negative 4. Both negative. So that's basically how I got the answer that I got. Let's jump to number 5. All right. I don't want you to do this. This is what I don't want you to do. 4, 4, 9, 3 and 3. Like, you want to know why? Because you could sit there with 16 and be like 8 times 2, 4 times 4, 16 times 1. Because look, 16 is a perfect square. 9 is a perfect square. Help me out here. What makes 16 in front? What's the perfect square? 4 times 4. It's no coincidence, you guys, that there's a 16 leading the way and a 9 ending it. What makes 9? 3. Now, I've got to figure out how I'm going to make 24. So you play with it. Okay, I'm going to have y's, but I need to make my signs. So I'm literally going to sit here and just start playing with it. I could make them both negatives. I could make them both positives. I could make a plus minus, difference. Oh, I can't do difference of squares. Why can't I do plus minus? Because it would have a negative in it, yeah. So what should I do if I want a positive 24? Like how? 3 times 4, 3 times 4. Yes. Let's check it. Okay. Sweet, that's exactly what I wanted. Okay. Ooh, factor first. What does that mean, factor first? Why would I write that? We've never seen this before. If you see that there is a number in common with all 3, you can factor out a GCF first.
3.
What GCF? Yes. So factor out a 3 and see what happens.
2 minus 10x plus 25.
Same problem we had on number 4. Well, wait. Nope, number 3. How do I make x squared minus 10x plus 25? We actually did it on the top of our paper. What was it?
X plus 5 x plus
Not x plus 5, x minus 5. No.
x plus 5 x plus 5.
X plus 5, x plus 5. No.
X minus 5 x minus 5.
Oh.
Oh, wait, it's a negative.
Yeah.
There's a negative 10. So shortcut way to write this. That would be the best way to write it. Okay. So going forward, I've got a good mix of things. Some of them you've seen. Some of them are actually like duplicates. And this page should not even be here because that's the beginning of the notes. So go to the back side and let's work on classwork.